Thank you, friends, for joining me tonight for this special episode of Wild Wild Slide series, because this is an extension of my previous series, which will also go on simultaneously with slide guitar players. But I have made an extension to this series, which I call a lounge section, in which I invite not only slide guitarists but other musicians also who uh, who may play different instruments or may sing, or even painters or actors or healers or spiritual people, whoever uh, are doing something differently with their art, consciously with their art, and they are creating a different path for themselves in this world of illusions and delusions, let's say. So whoever come in contact with me or who I happen to know will be asked to please come on this series. And in this series, the first episode, I have invited my dear old friend Abhay Nayampally, who is an amazing electric guitar player. You will just see how good he is and what magic he creates with his instrument, which is an Western instrument, but he plays some amazing Carnatic music on his electric guitar. And we have been connected uh, many years now. We had a band together also many years ago, and but then he shifted to Mumbai, and then I also went to another direction. And but I had been always an admirer of his music, the way he conducts himself, the way he is passionate about his music, the way he dedicates himself to his art, to his genre, and by the way, he's also an amazing, it's very much sought after uh, fusion musician too, because this is a very much valid upcoming genre like fusion music, the world music, not only the traditional genres like classical or other ones. So why not I invite him right away? Thank you for joining. Hi Abhay, I see you online and I would see soon ask you to join me. Yes, I
Hi,
see you Abhay. Great.
nice to see you after a long time.
Long time, really long time. Maybe I
Uh,
don't know how many
how
years.
to be- I know.
But I have been watching your musical journey of from Facebook posts or Instagram, uh, and it's really heartening to see you grow so well into your musical journeys and your thoughts, your ideas. You have put it all together in a very nice bouquet. And the way you create sound, we all know as a musician how we create sound, because we are not just playing music, we are the tool is sound, and we should know how to create sound first of all.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, so you do it very well on this instrument, which nobody would suspect that this is these sounds are coming from an electric guitar, normal guitar. I think normally tuned guitar, you keep it normally tuned, no? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
it's standard tuning.
you change tunings or anything. You just keep
No.
it normal, the way guitar is tuned, and then
Yeah.
you create your magic of some different genre altogether, which is totally unsuspecting or almost shocking. So,
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
yeah, let's hear you play, Abhay. Let's hear you play because your music will talk a lot about you.
Okay. I'll play like a very short alap in Kalyani Raga, which is close to Yaman of Hindustani classical. It's not exactly Yaman, but it's in the
Yes, yes,
same family, if you can call it.
yeah, yeah.
Is my guitar audible?
Not yet because you haven't played it yet. Just keep playing and I will tell you. Just keep play some phrase. It's very loud right now.
No. Okay.
Just a little bit. I think it's good.
Okay. Okay. Kalyani Raga.
Yes, now I can hear you well.
Okay.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow. 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 Amazing, Abhay. So nice. First of all, even to listen to this Carnatic vibes, I love it. I love these sounds, the shrutis that are produced by this special. I love this movement. It is so unique and beautiful, very beautiful. I,
Thank you so
I,
much. Thank you.
I don't really know how you manage to get these sounds, but because probably your guru,
Yeah,
late
absolutely.
Pandit U. Srinivasan, showed the whole world how to do it, and
Yeah.
you picked up really well from there. Let us hear from you. How was your experience with him, and what led you to him?
So, first of all, to put down the experience of learning under such a great soul, such a great legend,
Yes,
is, I mean, it renders me speechless. At the same time, I can write volumes about it.
yeah,
It's
I
you know,
understand.
time that fine line in between. But it,
Yes, yes.
to put it in one word, I think it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Wow.
It was sublime. It was almost unreal. It was surreal because this is a person whom I had grown up listening to, and then to actually be in his presence one
Hmm.
on one and getting to listen to him play and talk and teach at the
Hmm.
same time was just beautiful. He was an absolutely humble, gentle, very very gentle soul. I mean, anyone who knew him would agree upon
Yes,
on that.
truly.
And
Hmm.
so to actually be in that vibe, for those classes was absolutely surreal. And he had a
Yes.
beautiful sense of humor as well. He had this dry sense of humor, which I used to really enjoy. So his classes were always peppered with some of the other jokes of some kind, and he would never get angry. So it was a joy learning under him. Absolute
Any
joy.
an example of any joke or
Oh
his
yeah,
dry
I still
humor?
remember. I remember this once. I mean, I used to go to Chennai and learn with him, and there was a power cut which I think used to happen frequently back then in Chennai. And as usual, we were learning, and suddenly the power went off, and our instruments switched off because we were on electric instruments. So
Yes.
he just looked at me and with a deadpan expression, he just goes, "Ah, load shedding is happening. No, the politicians also have to eat, so they have to cut the electricity." So I remember like, we laughed about that for a long, long time because
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
a hard hitting social commentary as well as a very
A
accomplished
sarcasm
joke.
and a funny line too. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So why did you pick up electric guitar in the first place? Like, and especially when one has to play Carnatic music and then one picks up a very, very traditional or well-known Western instrument? Why? I mean, I am also almost in the same boat, but I want to
Yeah.
listen from you.
Yeah, I think we both are very we we are very lucky that we have instruments that are recognized all over the world. So it relates to a lot of people, albeit
Definitely.
in ways. For me personally, the journey was actually I started off with the regular guitar, the Western guitar, and
Hmm.
as any Western guitarist starts off, I started off with an acoustic, learning the chords and that kind of
Hmm.
thing, and then went on to electric. And I used to play jazz and blues and all that,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
professionally for a couple of years before I started professionally in Carnatic.
Hmm.
And when I was exploring all those other genres, I used to also listen to a lot of Yush Srinivas and I realized like there was something about that tone that made me want to try that same style on the electric guitar. So
Hmm.
the electric actually lends itself beautifully to this music because it's got those
Hmm.
sustains, it's got those sweet tones, and it's got
Yes.
the power to be able to make a tone. You can make a tone and you can really
Yes.
tweak it in an electric guitar. So it just
Yes.
worked out well. So I thought, maybe I could
Yeah.
take it forward from here.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it
Yes.
all came down to what I felt was a calling because I,
Hmm.
I completely gave up everything else that I was doing to pursue Carnatic completely. And I think, yeah, that was one of the best decisions I feel of my life so far.
Definitely, I can see that, and I totally vouch for it because um, we all probably have made such a decision consciously or unconsciously to be able to
Absolutely.
pursue our respective fields or instruments or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have been here right now talking about all these things.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. And
And I think
it's
it's that one tone that just, captures us for the rest of our life. And I'm sure you reverberate with the same sentiment because when you must have heard the Hindustani slide guitar, I think you would have already had that split second decision when you knew that, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
definitely. And it
Yeah.
happens also when not we are very mature person. Almost it happens in teenage or adolescence or sometime when we are
Yeah.
growing up and subconsciously we have decided about it, but at another phase of life it would come up, and when we
Yeah.
are made to decide like consciously also about this. But
Absolutely.
subconsciously we
I
have
totally agree.
decided very much earlier, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah. Yeah, and it's also interesting to see that Carnatic music, world of Carnatic music, let's say, is more open to experimentations and it's very much open to take new instrument, new
Yeah.
things, because like saxophone is used to play amazing Carnatic
Yeah.
music like Kadri Gopalnath sir and all these
Yeah.
legends. They have done, I mean, lifetimes work in few years, let's say, and they
Yeah.
have,
Absolutely.
yeah, and now it made me also think why nobody's trying to play on slide guitar some same Carnatic stuff. I don't see any name coming up right now.
I'm, I'm,
May
I'm very sure that Carnatic would work on the Hindustani slide guitar as well.
yeah,
Because there's
should.
already the something called the Chitraveena, which Ravi
Yeah,
Kiran plays, and
yes,
I wouldn't say it's the same instrument, but it's got a similar technique, which
yes,
they
yes,
use a
yes.
stone instead of a slide, but they keep it on the instrument and do the achieve the gamakas like that. So I'm sure
Def
someone can actually try out Carnatic music
yeah,
on a Hindustani slide guitar. It would be a very
definitely.
interesting texture.
And it's an
Yeah.
open space, like anybody can come and grab it because I'm actually too old and uh, too
No,
let
no.
us say old to to try it all. I'm more set in my own ways now. But if I had gotten a chance right from my adolescence, but at that time it was also very much early to for this instrument also to
Yeah.
completely. And okay, I lost the bus, but anybody else can jump on it, and I invite any slide guitar player of any age or whatever, who is open to take up Carnatic music, because we both know that it will endlessly and amazingly seamlessly flow on this instrument.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I hope
In fact,
somebody
that's one of
does.
the things I've always appreciated about Carnatic music. It's got an image of being a very orthodox form of music, which to a certain degree it is when it comes to the ragas and the aesthetics
Content,
within
yes.
which you approach it. But I've also found it very, very, very open. You know, even the audiences are very open in
Yes,
that
true.
sense, where you know, a lot of these Western instruments have come into Carnatic music and it's been taken in.
And
It's been
stayed
taken
there,
in to
and
the
stayed
point,
there.
yeah, it
Yeah,
stayed there. In fact, the violin, which is now
yeah,
such an important part of Carnatic music, is a Western
yeah.
instrument.
Yes,
It
yes,
came into
true.
Carnatic music just about maybe 200 years ago. It was originally introduced to Carnatic music by Muthuswami Dikshita's father, and then it was taken on from there. And now you can't think of a Carnatic concert without a violin. So
Yes.
mandolin
Like,
became
yeah,
a mainstream,
mandolin.
instrument, like that. So
Definitely, definitely. Like, you can't imagine an Indian vocal concert without harmonium, let's say, or
yeah,
or something like this. But yes,
exactly.
but I'm still surprised that not many percussions have come in Carnatic music's area. I mean, they have been playing
Yeah,
all the traditional percussions like
yeah,
mridangam or kanjira or whatever,
correct.
but not they have. Nobody had tried this thing. Also, somebody can try that too. Maybe play some Western
Yeah, that's
percussion
a
or
very interesting.
djembe or whatever is
Yeah, yeah,
possible, and play
yeah.
Carnatic
Like how
rhythms.
Ustad Tawfiq Qureshi ji is
Tawfiq Bhai,
doing on the
yes,
djembe for
yes,
Hindustani
for
classical percussion. That's a very
yes,
interesting one. Actually, the
yes.
usage of Carnatic rhythm systems have been used in a lot of other, by a lot of other drummers and percussionists all over the world. It's quite popular, the Carnatic system. In fact, Steve Smith is a regular. The like you know he uses a lot of Carnatic material in his solos and his playing, and I think he's even learned a little bit of Carnatic music from Chennai, if I'm given to believe.
Hmm.
So that kind of usage is there, but in a mainstream Carnatic concert, I am yet to see a percussion
Yeah, yeah.
that time.
So,
It's more taken as a fusion kind of an instrument.
yes, true, yes, true. So, Carnatic music, let us say, open for instrumental music, but
Yeah,
not still yet open for even vocal, probably, or not for rhythm instruments. But maybe
yeah,
that time will also comes. It depends on
yeah,
people to show it by example and take it up and then show it
yeah,
to do it
absolutely.
and then show. Then people will recognize and understand and say, yeah, yeah, now you can be in our family like that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's what I mean. That's the beauty of music. It keeps evolving. We don't really realize how music keeps evolving. But if you look at the history of music, there's so much of evolution that has happened over the years, and so many new things have come. And it's now for us very normal to listen to something like say jazz or blues and all. But when you think about it, jazz didn't even exist till like maybe 100 years ago or something. It
Yes, yes.
just started coming out in
It's a recent thing.
New Orleans. So yeah, so considering human history, jazz is very new, but it's evolved so much. So it's that process is it's still happening. So that's a very interesting. It's very interesting to be part of that process. As we go along.
Yes, very true, very true. Because human beings are also evolving. It shows, because if humans are
Yeah,
not evolving, how could art or anything will evolve? So
absolutely, absolutely.
it's actually a very later byproduct. Whatever happens in art is a very later byproduct of human evolution, because art shows how much humanity has evolved or how it is in the present day, good or bad. We don't need to judge, but whatever it is. Yeah. So
Yeah,
art is a clear reflection of human evolution in that sense. it may not be the latest update on it, but still,
Yeah,
it shows a lot. It shows a lot
absolutely,
because
absolutely. You can
yeah,
follow human thought if you follow
yeah,
art. Very
yes,
beautifully
yes,
put,
yes,
Manish ji. Very beautifully put.
yes. And I remember we had such interesting conversations when we were also playing together sometimes
Yeah,
in those times when we were rehearsing and all that. So it shows that, yeah, we think about music too, because it shows that we are, and maybe, if not huge, but at least some important part of this. This evolution that takes place simultaneously or as an undercurrent, because it is something like the root grows in the soil, because we don't see the root growing, but the root is the main cause of the plant to grow up. so
yeah, yeah,
so so the groundwork, the root work is already happening in our subconscious, in our conscious, and all that. Especially I would say in these times, COVID times, when we are like almost forced to stay at home, then what we do, we have to reflect on something.
yeah,
And if we are a musician, we'll reflect on music, and then we'll see, okay, what's next? Where am I doing okay? Is it really what I'm doing is fine, or is it something else that should come, or what should I do, or what should I not do? So these times are especially very fertile for a lot of things to happen, and we are probably the generation, or the crop of musicians who will take a definitive message forward later on, when a new normalcy will be there.
yeah.
Do you agree
Absolutely.
with this, what I am blabbering, or you have something else to
Absolutely,
share?
absolutely. I mean,
You're free to
no, no,
say.
no. It's,
Yeah.
it's very accurate what you've said, because the COVID the situation has forced all of us to have a completely new perception about the world as we see it, and
Yeah.
the world outside, and even the world within. So,
Yeah.
especially artists, I mean, not just artists, but especially for artists, it's been a completely, um almost shocking kind of a scenario. So everyone has had to rethink, everyone has had to almost reboot, rediscover,
Yeah.
and regenerate what their influences could be, what their inspirations are. So, I mean, from my personal experience, I'm speaking. Uh, During this COVID time, I had to, find ways of reinventing myself as a musician while
Hmm.
maintaining my identity is, but also incorporating new things and new
Hmm.
ways of approaching my art and staying relevant in these kind of times. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's there has been a lot of bad that happened this year, but I think along with that, there's been a lot of good also,
Good too.
which
Yes. True.
kind of
Yes.
created uh, that situation. So
Yes. 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 And good things happen when we are when we stay at home, or I mean the
yeah,
inner home too, the inner home too. Let's
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. Because if we are
yeah, absolutely,
out and out and out and out, going out and out, then that is a time to share, to express. But what
yeah,
really evolves is when we are silent, or we are peaceful, or at home, or we are reflecting, or we are just with ourselves, let's say. So
yeah.
that is, and that this COVID has given ample of time, enough tons of time
Yeah, it's
to for
acted as a
us.
catalyst, I feel. Yeah, it's acted like a catalyst to going inwards and introspecting a lot about what we are as a human race. Like, for example, I was having a conversation with a cousin of mine who has been working from home as all have been, and she was saying how now this feels more normal than going to work, and offices and everybody has realized that this kind of thing can be done from home. So many
Yeah,
people are saving fuel, which
yeah.
is important for planning, traveling to and from work,
Yes, 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 yes,
saving
yes.
electricity of offices because so many air conditions, and so
Yes, true, true,
environmentally
true.
also it's created a bit of a tectonic shift, I feel, this whole situation. So
Definitely, definitely. And less traffic, and less, at least hopefully less traffic too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Bombay.
Less
Now
pollution.
it's back to normal. Bombay is back to normal. It still takes me 3 hours to get from South Bombay to North Bombay, but
Oh,
hopefully other places it's a little better.
yeah. So I will play something more, something, let's say, fusionistic this time, to
Okay,
or whatever you like. It's up to you.
let me try. Sana, I used to play a lot of blues and jazz and all
Wow.
earlier. I started trying experiments where I could fuse both the genres together and see
Hmm.
where it. I don't know how it sounds, but
Yeah. And before you start, let me tell you, so many of your fan club is here. I cannot take all of their names, but
I've been
they
missing
are.
the messages at the bottom.
Yeah, so I think all of your fan club or some of your fan club is here. And okay. And also, if there is some network issue, probably they might be. So if my frame freezes or something, just please hold for some second, then I go to Wi-Fi again.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So please play something, Abhay.
Sure. Let me try and play some. Let me see how it works. I don't know how it
Yeah,
will
sure.
work out, but
Definitely.
if I, you know, blend the two genres of Carnatic and blues together, let's see how that.
Beautiful. Ah, ah, wow. Ah, here comes blues. Ah, wow. 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 Great. Very soothing, very nice, amazing, clean blend. So what do you do every day now these days, Bhai?
So I have I teach a lot of students online. So
Okay,
I divide my day between that. I have a lot of my personal projects going on. I'm working on a
okay.
few personal albums and recordings and everything. So that takes up a lot of my time. And as you know, as you're very well aware, the creative process just it keeps you
Yes,
in it.
engaged.
Yeah, it keeps you engaged all day, all night. So that
Yes,
that's
true.
happening. Plus. Concerts are not back full-fledged, but it's starting off a little, like, it's kind of so a little bit of concert work, a little bit of session work, my personal work, and teaching. And then outside of that, I love to read, so I try and keep myself busy reading a lot.
Beautiful. Which book are you reading recently or in these days?
I have a very bad habit of reading too many books at the same time. So I'm currently in the middle of at least
Okay,
eight nine
two of
books.
them.
But the last book I was reading was Sir Alex Ferguson's autobiography, Manchester United's old football manager, because I felt there were so many things I could take from that man's experiences, from his life lessons, which I
Hmm.
could personally apply in my life. And you never know. That's the beauty of uh, human life. You never know where inspiration is going to strike you from. It
Def
could be from
yes.
absolute. So yeah, so I love football, so I get a lot of inspiration from that. And I've been reading up a lot of art books to get inspiration on how artists used to approach their art. Even say 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 1,000.
Hmm.
So it always keeps you inspired to keep looking for that spark within to try and
Hmm.
the body of work or how it can affect your work culture. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do
Do you,
these days.
do you produce also? Like, do you work on Logic
I,
or
I,
all
I
this?
do produce also. I started producing very recently, but I have been doing that. I've been enjoying that process a lot.
Uh,
Producing, I find that it makes me think and listen in a very different way, as you were.
hmm.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that part of music also.
Okay. And you work with Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase?
I'm currently working with Logic Pro X, which I'm
Yes.
finding is very it's very complete from the kind of work that I'm doing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. Great. And when you said about like you are reading about art like 500 years ago, how it kind of evolved from there, let's say, it's interesting to note that audio audio recording is also so recent in human history. because
yeah.
paintings because paintings can be painted and then be there for 1,000 years, let's say, or some monument is there, some sculpture is there, these arts can be there, but music is done and dusted. It's like
Yeah,
gone with the wind. Also with maybe, let's say, dance, but dance still can be like painted, the movements and all that, but music, how can you like show what was exactly the sound? So
yeah,
recording sound is a big renaissance moment in human history, because now
absolutely.
we know recording, when we do recordings, like we were lucky to be able to hear recent maestros, at least, uh, even like Baba Lauddin Khan and people from
Yeah,
that generation,
absolutely.
at least were recorded in some way or the other. Uh, but beyond that, let's say 100 years ago, it's because it's very recent. The recording
Yeah,
in
yes.
equipment,
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
like camera also, but recording industries, recording tools, equipments are so
yeah.
recent compared to how we have traveled so far. Uh, it's so
Absolutely.
interesting to know. If we had recording equipments, let's say 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, or even 200 years ago,
Yeah, yeah,
we would have been like much more benefited or not benefited, I don't know, but still some kind of perspective would be there to see. Maybe they were
yeah,
doing better than us. Who knows?
yeah.
We don't know. We don't
It's
really know.
actually there is a thing that I've been doing recently is in this is pertaining to Western classical music,
Hmm.
where now there is a new form of Western classical called historically informed performances. They're called HIP recordings. So what they are doing in are they are recording with instruments that are primarily uh, available from the time of the composer. Like for example, a
Wow.
Mozart symphony would be recorded completely on instruments which are about 300, 350, 400 years old.
Hmm.
So you have Stradivarius and you have these cellos and even the oboes and flutes, everything, all the instruments, even the strings on the instruments are from like,
Wow.
with methods from that era. So the
Hmm.
sound,
Hmm.
the music is the same, and you can clearly mark the difference in sound. So you can actually hear
Hmm.
what the music might have sounded like in the
Hmm.
during, say, Mozart or Beethoven or Bach or something
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
Very interesting. It's like taking a step back in time because obviously we would not
Hmm.
have performances from that era, but we can at least listen to what performances from that era might have sounded like in those kind of
Yes.
environments. They primarily record with like one mic in the center, and they would record in churches so
Hmm.
that you get that natural
Cathedrals.
reverb and
Yeah.
all effect. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It's very interesting actually. It's like a time
Yeah, yeah,
capsule.
definitely.
Stepping back.
Yes, yes, true. It's true. Even piano was evolving in those times. Piano is not the
Yeah,
piano we
yeah,
see today. It was like a lot of experimentations were going on, and some the purists, at so-called purists at that time, were rejecting what kind of instrument
yeah.
is this.
Yeah, yeah.
So all this happens. Even guitar, the evolution of guitar from lute and other
Guitar,
things
yeah, it's
is
gone
also
through so much of
tremendous.
change. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
from
Western, even in the Western context or even in the Indian classical context, like for example, how uh, the Hindustani slide guitar came to be, that itself is such a beautiful process to follow because otherwise we would not have had, this texture in Hindustani classical music.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Really interesting to understand like history in this perspective because we are from music world and we need sounds to make understand perspectives. But there's no sound. Like 100 years ago, it's blank, it's muted, it's everything is soundless.
yeah, absolutely.
All other things can be there. There may be scriptures, there might be books and all that, but no sound. It's
Yeah,
muted. It's totally
yeah.
mute. Maybe in this mute world, some mutation might have taken us so that we are here talking about all these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's very
But very,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
interesting to reflect upon history. And also, we know what we are creating. I mean, I'm not saying big words here, but uh, uh, every growth process is historical in that sense, however small
absolutely.
it may look at that point of time. And I believe the musicians of our generations who are alive and kicking like these, we are really up and about our art and all these things. We are making a significant contribution or a share, let's say a Bitcoin share, even you can say. Uh,
Yeah,
but But it's a very significant share because right now what we are contemplating or talking is also part of that process. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been doing this. So, before COVID, we wouldn't have thought of like interacting in this way or talking about the history of art and blah 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 and all that.
yeah,
But this part, this time we have went through some process or the other. Definitely that we are being able to at least share our
yeah,
thoughts on all these issues or whatever has brought us up to this point, and we will be taking it forward till we are alive, and
yeah.
we will be sharing a new perspective and opening up the new generations also when the following people who will not be more like we see this year so many of Hindustani greats and other legends have passed away,
Yeah.
passed away. So the older generation is quickly making way for the newer generations to
Yeah,
now make to take up the stage, let's say. However, they're ready or not, but the stage is now uh, available, and so what we will take up to the stage will reflect will create a huge, maybe it may be subtle but still huge, uh, processes of newer and newer thoughts and newer experimentations and newer and newer venues of thinking, of no thinking, of feeling or no feeling, or whatever, living or no living, will come up. And so we are like, I would say that we are also uh, carrying that that message, let's say. So whatever we are thinking right now is not like, okay, it's not a daydream of sorts, but we
Yeah.
are creating some significant shift, because the shift
Yeah.
happens first in the musician, then
Yeah.
it reflects to them, because music is where music is created by the musicians. Otherwise, it's a
Absolutely.
mute. It's another.
Yeah.
It's a, if we are like, we are not playing right now anything, so it's, we are just talking, so music is mute, but we are
Yeah.
still talking about music, and the process is there because we have reached or arrived at certain point of, let us say, evolution, or whatever you can term it
Yeah.
as. So, and this, whenever we pick up our instrument, whenever we will do something of music, it will reflect, it will filter down, it will pave way for newer things, for newer experiences, for newer generations, whatever we can say. Maybe I'm blabbering here, but
No,
maybe it
no,
makes sense or not. But
no,
I feel,
it's a beautiful conversation. I mean, because these kind of things do need to be spoken about. You know, and artists can are in possession of the kind of perception that leads to these kind of conversations, which will eventually, um, set the way for forward, because somebody thought about it 100 years ago, and now we're doing that, and now we
yeah,
think about something, and somebody will do that 100 years ago, I mean 100 years later.
yes, yeah.
So that kind of a thing, I feel that's very interesting as part of the whole artistic process, as part of the whole process of the human experience.
How we share, how the expansion of our
Yeah,
perceptions, like they give rise to so many newer things. I feel newer art forms will also arise soon, which
absolutely.
we may not even think of, because so much AI is coming, artificial
Yeah,
intelligence, and all these things will create an amalgamation of so many different things, ideas, which cannot be even imagined right now. I'm sure of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And so there will be different kind of approaches and platforms, and newer kinds of artists, newer kinds of genres will
yeah,
emerge. I'm sure of it.
absolutely, absolutely.
And Indian and classical music of all sorts, of all cultures, is also going through huge renaissance moments here.
Absolutely,
We may not accept it, because we might think, oh, it may annoy some purists or whatever,
yeah,
but it is happening, whether we like it or not. It is happening. and
yeah.
and it will happen for good. It will be all for good. It will be all for beneficial. It will be all for good, let's say. Nothing is bad in that sense,
No,
but
that's the thing. I mean, what you sit and think about it, what might have been considered absolutely pure, maybe say 100 years ago or 150 years ago, and what we are doing now may not be considered, what we consider pure now may not have been considered pure about 100, 150 years ago. So that way the evolution keeps happening. I only feel that in the name of evolution, we shouldn't let certain aspects of the music die down. Like, I mean, it's evolving. It's very beautiful. So we can actually enhance it and add our own generation's texture to it, whatever. But I think the evolution should also happen in a beautiful manner, where we don't dilute it any further. It can remain rich, but also keep on evolving. Like, for example, the addition of instruments like the Hindustani slide guitar, or like, say, what I play, the Carnatic electric guitar. I think these are things that we are trying to add and bring to the instrument while keeping the aesthetics of the music within its purview, and we want to take this and give that back to the music. Like, for example, when I think about the electric guitar music, I think of a Western instrument, an instrument which they have given to us, to the East, I want to give our music to them on
Definitely.
instruments. So that's how I kind of approached it.
Definitely, definitely. See, that's what I said. Ki, whatever is happening will be for the higher good, for the
Yeah,
betterment of the whole in the whole sense of the perspective. It cannot be detrimental in any way, or because musicians inherently are not negative people, because they are creative
yeah,
people. Let's
absolutely.
talk only about music, let's say. So musicians, the true musician cannot be a very negative or destroying kind of person. He would like to create because
Yeah,
that's his calling. So how can he create something stupid or something not matching or not syncing with his the treasure that he already has? So he will definitely wants to only enhance that in some way or the other, put more layer to it, make it more beautiful, and another generation will make it beautiful from their perspective, what
absolutely.
is
I completely
valid
agree.
from there, for there, because we may not know, we are just here for, let's say, 30-40 years more, but then we have to
Yeah,
leave.
yeah,
We are not here forever. So then the place is taken by somebody else, and he will think in a different way. And whatever
yeah,
he thinks, whatever that moment is required, the moment asks him or her to do, is his or her reality for that point of time,
correct.
and which will be true, and which will be for their own higher good or whatever, let's say. So we have philosophized a lot. Maybe.
I think that's
Oh, finally we are back.
yeah. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's play something in the end, Abhay, and
Sure, I would love to.
let's see
Pick
where we
yours.
are.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we jammed.
Yes, something in this.
Sure, sounds good. Yes, I love this, and we have bass in both Hindustani and Carnatic, so people will get to
Is
hear
it
sides of the. Uh,
is it called this also there, or it
yeah,
has a
call it
different?
Desh, but it's the same. It's almost the same texture.
Okay, okay, okay. Ah, 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 ah. Wow. Yeah, we keep playing.
No, no, play, play,
You
play.
and
I really liked your phrase, so I got carried away.
no, no,
Please,
you can. It will. It's my pleasure. Ah,
yeah.
ah, 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 ah. Ah, wow, 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 beautiful.
मजा आ गया.
मजा आ
You
गया,
threw
मजा
all
आ गया,
yeah.
मजा आ गया. Great, Abhay. It was such a
Absolutely.
pleasure to talk to you. Such a pleasure to have you on my show. It's not a show. It's because it's a sharing platform which we are like just using Instagram right now to
Yeah.
share because because the newer technologies are here, so why not use it? So
Absolutely. Yeah. It was such a joy to be
so
here. It was such a lovely evening, and for me also, it was an honor to be part of this beautiful concept that you are taking forward, the Wild Wild Slide Lounge, and this was episode one. So I'm very very honored to start the lounge series of this with you. It was a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for having me over.
I wish I can share coffee or something also on the lounge here virtually, but it's
We'll
a
put that for
virtual
the next
lounge.
time.
It's only
I'm always up
I
for coffee. Anything.
okay. I will keep this in mind whenever we need meet next. Okay,
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
think we should meet also, Abhay, and do something together if possible
Absolutely,
and see.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. Thank you so much,
Hopefully, we
Abhay, my
can meet
dear
soon and
brother.
work.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Brother.
Yes, 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 yes. Take care. God bless you and
Take
all the
care. Yeah, and
best.
stay safe. And hope to see you very soon in person.
Yes, yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Abhay. All the best. All the best. And give my
Thank
regards to
you.
your parents. All my best.
Definitely. Will do. I'll tell them. I'll tell them.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye.